tell us, eat me out, Eatman.
Okay, well, we need to make a little video for that jingle.
So, Danks 9000 says Golden Girls question mark.
We need to make a little Eat Me Out Eatman video for that.
I showed Adam that song. I can't remember where we're going to a movie maybe or something like that. Anyway, remember I played it and we were like, oh, it's like a Full House.
Yeah,
like
it needs to be something with Eat Me Out Eatman and
But look,
Full House type style.
We got to give Eatman his love because
He's still doing his damn thing, man.
He's doing his damn thing.
In a season like these guys, this is their job, and they're diehard fans also. So like the way the season is going, just it must be tough for these guys, these writers, and these journalists out there. Bryce, look at Bryce Young's face. What a fucking idiot!
He looks scared. He looks scared, baby. All right, well, let's get into this, guys. You know how he likes to do.
Ooh, am I going to hit it first?
You'll hit it first. I'll just read the intro here. Cowboys travel to Carolina this week to face a Panther squad that has been much more competitive lately, including narrow losses to the Chiefs and Eagles. Yeah. What other NFL team is having narrow losses against the Chiefs? Every single one.
Yeah, every game they play is
They're setting a record right now in Week 14.
It's pretty. It's honestly impressive to see them squeak out wins.
They have 11.
Like, how the fuck do they do this well?
They have 11 wins within a 1 point, like a 1 point score difference. Never happened in history.
Dallas had that shot to win 3 straight games against the Bengals in a dramatic fashion, but the Cowboys will try to get back on track with another road game.
Another roadie.
We're 4-2 away.
The Road Warriors this year.
But here are the big 10 stories. Are you going to kick us off?
Yeah, I'll kick us off.
Hang on.
What
did the hell?
Eatman's just
he switched up the format. Guys, he switched up the format. We don't have numbers anymore. We're flying blind.
Can you just juice out it just a touch?
Juice out?
Just to juice it up just a touch. So the record doesn't exactly show it, but the Panthers are certainly playing better football here in the last few weeks. At 3-10 overall, Carolina is tied for the second worst record in the NFL. But after a 1-7 start where the average margin of victory was 21.8 points per game, the Panthers are 2-3 in their last 5 games with the margin of victory at just 3.2 points.
Oh,
so we're seeing
they've narrowed the gap.
They're narrowing those gaps.
Scoring more points. I'm not going to do it because this. Well, maybe we can do it quickly. I just want to look at who they've played.
Yeah, let's bring it up.
Why not?
Eat Me Out can't just start talking about these narrow margin victories without us looking at the actual strength of their schedule.
I'm just clicking wildly.
And AJ's he's in mock draft ESPN hell right now, baby.
Well, it showed CeeDee Lamb also while AJ was doing his little quest. CeeDee Lamb should break 1,000 yards this game. He's at 973 right now.
Oh, great.
Let's go, baby.
Well, get that 1,000.
Doesn't feel like it, does it?
No, it doesn't. I think he's just kind of steadily got like 40 or 50 yards every single game.
No. He had 90-something last game, 93 or something like that. So, I'm assuming this is the start, right? Yes, okay. So started with a loss to the Saints, then we lost to the Saints.
Yeah, 47-10.
But they got a win against the Raiders, 36-22. Pretty much, I'm just looking at the teams here. Raiders, Bengals, Bears, Falcons, Commanders, Broncos, then 2 wins against they got their victory against the Saints, victory against the Giants, then the Chiefs, Bucks, and Eagles.
Yeah, but those games against the Chiefs, Bucks, Eagles, like they said, they with that
they're
2 margin or whatever, they have been very close games.
And I would say, well, here's the interesting thing. First of all, we beat the Giants by 1 score as well.
Yep.
We lost to the Saints. Chiefs are who the Chiefs are. They just can figure out how to win. We play the Buccaneers, and they only won by 3 points against the Panthers. So we'll see how this game, translates to that one. And then Eagles, we know they're playing some of their best football. I think I've seen them play since we started this cast, right?
But a 22-16
it's
loss.
another squeak out win, but
yeah,
that just means maybe the Panthers are better than what we're expecting.
It could be.
Only time will tell.
You want me to
After winning 2 straight games over the Saints and Giants before the bye week, Carolina has lost 3 straight, but a 3-point loss to the Chiefs at the end. That's what we just talked.
Okay, sweet.
Then a 26-23 overtime loss to the Bucks, so they lost the Bucks in OT, and then losing on the road to the Eagles 22-16. So we pretty much just hit that point. Yeah, Nick.
Yeah,
we kind of got ahead of you there. But their last 3 games have all been close, yet they've been a skid. Like they're 0-3 in their last 3 weeks, but they could have probably won any of those games. So the Cowboys are going to be in for it this weekend against the Panthers.
Yeah, they are definitely being more competitive. And so that's all I'm hoping for. Let's get some competition. Bryce Young is now back as the starting quarterback for the Panthers and starting to show signs why he was picked number 1 overall in 2023. Young had just a 49.5 QBR in his first 2 starts with no touchdown passes and 3 picks.
Oh, Jesus.
Since he's back as the starter, Young has a 81.2 QBR with 7 touchdowns and 4 picks. So he's still out there throwing them a little bit wild. That's okay. I kind of like that. But, yeah, it looks like he's got his shit put together here these last couple games. Either he's going to buck that trend against the boys or he'll keep it going, and we got a game.
His TD to interception ratio right now is 1-1. He's 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions on the season.
You tell me if that's
a perfect game.
If I drafted that number 1 overall, I wouldn't be happy. I'll just tell you that. But.
Chuba Hubbard eclipsed the 1,000-yard rushing mark.
Canadian boy.
Chuba Hubbard eclipsed the 1,000-yard rushing mark for the Panthers, and he's proving to be a tough back to bring to the ground. Hubbard has forced 48 missed tackles this year, including a career-high 10 missed tackles last week against the Eagles.
Wow, that's pretty good to shake 10 tackles in a game. That's very elusive.
He's elusive.
It is. And, you know, a lot of people don't know this. Chuba Hubbard's nickname is Chubby Hubby.
Yeah.
Chuba Chubby Hubby Hubbard.
Chubby Hubby Hubbard.
And they're always like,
Chuba.
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 He's good, man. He got his extension from the Panthers.
You're just saying that because the Snakes drafted him.
Hey, man, I didn't draft him. I picked him up on the way. Or maybe I did draft him. But he's been very good this season, and no one can doubt it. He's been a top running back in the NFL. They've went away from kind of doing any type of sharing total in the Panthers backfield, and he's given them some reason why to keep doing it.
I think we talked about this before. I think that's probably been the biggest problem that Rico's had is that sharing time.
Not in these last few games.
No, but now that he's been getting the predominant amount of carries, like you're seeing them click, right?
I want Rico to break 1,000 yards this game.
1,000 yards with, I want him to get 3 touchdowns
277 yards this game, or 267 yards, whatever it needs to
3
be.
touchdowns
goes off.
The Panthers are the last in the NFL in points allowed this year.
Hey.
What?
Is this you?
Yeah, you just read, dipshit.
Oh, right. It's you. You're up.
You just read.
Hey.
You literally.
Hey, you're pulling at me.
you're up.
You just read.
Hey, you're up.
You fucking goldfish brain.
Hey, you're up.
The Panthers are the last. Hey, is this Ad's turn? Or
Hey,
is it mine?
you're
The
up.
Panthers are last in the NFL in points allowed this year, averaging 29.8 points per game. The Cowboys are right in front of them, ranked 31st in the league, allowing 28.2 points per game. So
This isn't necessarily a storyline, though.
well, it seems like if this is the case, they should be hitting the over. If both teams are allowing, if you add up their allowed points for their average of allowed points, it should hit the over.
It should, but the problem is we've got the worst ranked offense versus the 23rd or
11th ranked defense.
Yeah.
I see. So they're expecting them to be able to stuff them down a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, what's the hope for the Cowboys? 21 is kind of like our ceiling. It feels like.
So they score. Yeah, we all talked about last week. We would be surprised if the Cowboys offense. I think the Cowboys offense, without any special teams touchdowns or any defensive touchdowns, I think their ceiling is 21 points.
Yeah,
the offense.
Yeah.
I think that's their ceiling. The last week they hit 20, and that was against the worst or the second or 31st ranked defense in the NFL. So
It's because McCarthy's cheating our boy. He's Bud Kilmer-ing freaking.
I don't
Rico
think it
Dowdle.
has anything to do with. Well, I guess because he's letting Cooper Rush throw, but Cooper Rush throwing the ball is like it's
That's
bad.
like he's
he's definitely regressed. Let's just say
totally
Things
his
have not looked
passes just look awful.
Now we're moving on to the Cowboys storylines. Yeah,
Here we go, Cowboys.
Here we go. The Cowboys saw their chances for a 3-game win streak end in heartbreaking fashion Monday night. The Bengals scored in the final minute for a 27-20 victory, but needed a break. The Cowboys gave them when Amari, Oruwariere,
Ayo.
mishandled a block punt that gave the Bengals a possession instead of the Cowboys, who had a chance to get the ball for a game-winning field goal. The loss drops the Cowboys to 5-8 and decreases any chances of them making a playoff run. So, playoffs.
Playoffs.
What's it at? It was at 1% last week. What is it this now?
0.5.
Is it?
I don't know.
There is still. I think it's actually still 1% because not enough changed.
Right. Okay.
If the Commanders win, they get
done.
9 wins.
Do the math.
If Commanders win, it's done.
Well, it would still come down. If they lost, they would have to lose out, and the Cowboys would have to win out.
Yeah, no. If one more win for Washington, and I believe
No, it puts them at 9 wins. And then the Cowboys would play them in the final game of the year, and they've already beat them. So if the Cowboys beat them again,
we have the same record.
They'd have the same record, and the Cowboys would have the tiebreaker.
Fuck that.
But the Cowboys would have to win out right now to get to 9-8, and then yeah, I mean,
week by week, my dude.
week by week. Yeah, week by week.
Add.
Okay, it appears the Cowboys are still sticking with Coop Rush and the boys as the starting quarterback. While we might see more of backup Trey Lance, doubtful, in spot duty on occasional situations to use his running ability, Rush will get his 6th start of the season against the Panthers.
Are you guys kind of mad that we haven't seen a little bit more of that? Like
after
some trick plays or something with Lance at least, or just like bring him in and put him in as like a tight end and then run something?
It doesn't surprise me with Mike McCarthy's inability to have some sort of, creativity in his offensive play calling. He's too stuck in 15 years ago. It just won't happen.
I don't think there's an excuse at this point to not be utilizing him in some way, even if it's like, well, we always wanted, it was always Cooper Rush who was going to be the backup. That's okay, but you don't have a handful of plays that you throw in. Like we're in week 14 now? 15?
16.
16. Oh God.
No, 15.
We're in week 15. Just past week 14, so I wasn't too far off.
I had to go into fantasy football.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm already out of fantasy football in all the leagues.
In all your leagues?
Except for the one that my boy is managing.
CanFan, baby. Which we'll hit that up on next cast. We'll talk about the playoffs. But you know what I mean? Like, by this point in the season, you figure you would have been like, hey, let's figure out a way to get Trey in the game. We're paying him $5 million to stand on the sideline. I'm sure he would want to get into the game. Look, you've had a ton of footage of Taysom Hill from the New Orleans Saints. Just carbon copy what they use with him for some plays. Getting Cooper Rush and Trey Lance out on the same play, it'd be interesting. It might fail, but I think that's what Cowboys Nation is looking for with that. Like,
yeah, just give us something like I agreed.
A pitch to Coop Rush and Trey Lance on the field at the same time.
Do this
sweep to Trey Lance.
That's what they'd end up doing. They'd end up getting Trey Lance as the quarterback, and he'd pitch out a toss play to Cooper Rush.
Oh God.
Right, yeah.
They would fuck it up somehow.
Which, look, it can make sense, but that could make sense in a package, right?
Yeah.
Like you run it a couple ways and then you do that and
I think the Taysom Hill thing's a good example. They could kind of carbon copy or at least attempt. I think Taysom Hill is better than Trey Lance, but there's stuff that you could take there go back and watch stuff that they did with him 2 or 3 years ago and see if you could mimic it a little bit.
Trey Lance can throw the ball better than the average person. And
he's a big dude.
And he can run. So it's just, let's get him out there. Now, my confidence that a Mike McCarthy run offense has the ability to do that is pretty low, only because we haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And it's like, do this for me, Mike, if you're listening. Mike, are you listening? Is Mike McCarthy listening?
What a burger.
Just like you like it.
There he is. I knew he was listening. Swap out one of those lame ass jet sweeps and do something fun with Trey Lance.
They're good for one of those a game, if not 2. The injury bug won't stop for the Cowboys, and now it might be dipping into 2025 season. We talked about that earlier. DeMarvion Overshown suffered a 3-ligament tear in his knee and is not only done for the season, but the timetable for his return could affect his chances of playing a full season in 2025
Yeah, Nick, we've went over this. I don't want you bringing it. I don't want you bringing it up again.
Stop.
We're all sad. We're all sad about it.
And no one in their right mind would think DeMarvion Overshown would be ready to play a full 2025 season at all.
Yeah, I'd be. Well, what is it right now? December. So you got to think. It started December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. He would have to completely heal in 9 months, which I just
my hope for Overshown, just for the sake of him bringing up this point, is that he would be back in week 17 next year.
Well, yeah, Ad kind of brought that up, like shelve him until hopefully the Cowboys make the postseason next
then
year.
slowly bring him back for those last 2 weeks. And
you got him by he's firing or at least kind of close to playing
game speed.
And hopefully CanFan doesn't have to watch 2 seasons of the Cowboys out of playoff contention.
Playoffs.
Well, look, and not another thing, because we're going to have lots of time to talk about this, but just to put it on your guys' docket, does this change draft? Are we looking for a linebacker just to add to the mix?
I think we have to look for a linebacker.
Either
regardless.
or free agency.
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
You're up there. You're up there, killer.
Despite injuries to the offensive line that have included Zach Martin out for the season, Tyler
Because
Guyton.
every guy they talk, it's like,
I know.
Out for season.
Tyler Guyton missing some time, and now Cooper Beebe concussion potentially missing this week. Damn it! The running, put him in. I don't care. It's a concussion.
It's just a concussion.
Is his bone okay?
You're still young.
The running game has improved. Rico Dowdle has back-to-back 100-yard games.
Yeah, Rico.
Ever since Adam made the trade,
I know.
back-to-back.
Adds the driving force of Rico Dowdle.
Thanks, Rico.
100-yard with 131 last week versus the Bengals. Probably his most impressive game, honestly. Dowdle needs 269 to get over 1,000 yards. I see him doing that.
I want him to do it next game.
I see him. Hey, if he has another 130-yard, or let's just give him 100 yards. It's 169 over the next 3 games.
It's almost in the bag.
It should be in the bag, unless they do something very Cowboys-esque and just can change up the playbook.
Now they'll want to see what Deuce Vaughn has.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Or they're gonna start Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, something stupid.
Fucking start Dalvin Cook, you fucks.
Well, we picked him up. We need to use him. Well, then use fucking Lance.
With the Cowboys now all but out of the playoff race, it could be time. It could be time to see even more of the younger players. One of them would be wide receiver Jonathan Ringo Mingo, who has been a regular in the offensive rotation at receiver. Mingo has been acquired from Carolina in a trade back in November. This will be the first game back to face the Panthers, who drafted him in the second round of the 2023
Revenge game? Oh, that's a nice little side quest.
Just found my bold prediction.
Ooh, nice.
Now, if I'm a Mike McCarthy, I'm actually taking this into consideration. I'm saying, Mingo, we're going to up your targets today. This is a chance for you to go show the Panthers that they should never have traded you.
Especially for what they got.
And
hey, look, you were a side fucking thing thrown off in a Whataburger garbage can, and we picked you up. Do you really want to be that? No, you want to be the main menu Whataburger meal. He's like, Coach, why are you talking about all these burgers?
Are you burger with cheese, or you got a bunch of shitty tomatoes on you?
Just everything he talks about is
I'm a burger with cheese.
I'm a burger with cheese, Coach.
Yeah, you are. He's like,
yeah, you are.
Make my mouth water.
Oh gosh, darn it.
We got to do this with Mingo. He cannot be another pick that's drafted and then just sits because we need depth. That's a Madden thing that I do, where you go and pick up an 80 rated receiver and you just have him sit
Just in
4th
case?
or 5th just in case. So your stats
Doesn't work in real life.
It's not smart in real life. And a guy like Jonathan Mingo, it's like, hey, and I get it. You still got a 1% chance, and so you want to, play for that victory. But let's do things that are a little wild and not smart. Because
Do you think that's not on tape?
Well, what's been smart or quote unquote smart, like putting out what we think are our best guys, hasn't really been working. Obviously, we're not going to change CeeDee Lamb's role, but I wouldn't mind seeing Mingo hop in there instead of Turpin for a couple plays just to see what he's got, because we need to see it.
You need to see what you have.
I need to see it this year.
I'd rather see it this year than week 1 next year,
or
or training camp of next season.
Yeah.
Or Mingo comes in, does very well in preseason. It's like, yeah, but that speed and everything. It's
this
not
is
the same
live.
as a
This
game.
is live.
This is an NFL.
We're gonna
team.
do it live.
We're doing it live.
We have 4 fucking games, or
Yeah, let it be.
we have 4 games to fucking see.
Again, though, you got to think Mike McCarthy's coaching for he's playing for his coaching future too. So he's not really in the let's see what we got for next year. I bet you if the Cowboys extended him, you would then start to see a little bit more things like that.
Look, I'm not gonna go do someone else's job for them. It's like ordering someone the food that they're gonna eat. I'm not doing that.
I honestly, I remember when Mingo was drafted, I do remember us talking about him. His name was a recognizable wide receiver name in that draft. And I don't think that he got a lot of great opportunity with the Panthers. Number one, not to say that their quarterback is not an NFL quarterback. He's only in his second year. But Bryce Young, you're getting him his first year, and he definitely did not perform like a number one.
And before, by the time Mingo got traded, he had, what did it say? 0 touchdown passes and was benched.
Yeah.
Right. So by the time his resurgence or his little bit of, at least arc this season, Mingo wasn't on the team. So
it'd be funny to go back to the draft 2 years ago and see if we did ever mock draft Mingo.
I don't think we did. Draft him
if you got him.
Draft him if you got him. I almost said.
Draft
him if you got him.
I just know that we looked at him.
We definitely talked about him.
Yeah, we definitely talked about
I
him.
don't think we were ever looking at wide receiver in the second-ish round.
I'm gonna deep dive.
Well, no,
I have deep dove, and I don't think we ever took him.
Here's the question I have.
But we might have talked about him.
Okay.
Here's the question I have for you guys. Are you confident enough that we can jump into power rankings quickly?
Yeah.
Because we got the time.
Cowboys are 26th ranked.
Was that the last storyline?
That was the last one. I know. When he doesn't number them, it just feels like we go through. Eat me out.
Just because I could see